we're going to do an exercise that will increase your confidence. So, fun fact, confidence actually is inherent. We're actually born with confidence, and our culture, our society, kind of the way we're conditioned, beats that confidence out of us. So we're going to get it back. And the reason we know that confidence is inherent, because literally, have you ever been around a 2-year-old? Like literally, they're the most confident people on earth. They're just doing crazy things. Like they're putting their hand in applesauce because they can. Like they don't care. They don't care what you think of them. They're amazing. Like they're just super confident. They're doing all of these things. And so we want to get back a little bit more to that state. We want to stop all the self-doubt that's holding you back. So here's the exercise. I want you to think of a political commentator you don't agree with. Luckily, right now, especially in the US, that's pretty easy for a lot of people. So think of this political commentator in your head. Or maybe it's like a YouTube influencer, TikTok influencer, whatever. Someone that you've been exposed to and you saw one of their videos and you're like, you know what, this person, no. And so I want you to think how critical you are of their arguments. You listened to what they said and you were like, no, like there's evidence for the opposite, blah, 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 this person's wrong, blah, blah, blah. So I want you to imagine that there's actually a political commentator just like that, but in your own head. And that is destroying your confidence. So we have this political commentator, and what they are doing is that they amplify the negative thoughts and they diminish the positive. So what they'll do is if you see any evidence, or if you create any evidence for yourself in your own mind of negative, like, oh, like, you know, like I look really awful today, like, you know, like my clothes don't fit, they don't match, blah, blah, blah. And somebody told me I look tired. Like, I'm going to remember that and I'm going to think about it and think about it and think about it. I'm going to amplify it. And then what I'm going to do is if someone told me like, hey, you look nice today, I'm going to diminish that, be like, oh no, that person is just like a super nice person and they probably say that to everyone. So that's a key phrase there, but. Whenever you kind of hear that word but, it's you diminishing the positive usually. And so what's funny is that you completely believe these thoughts in your mind. You're like, yeah, I look awful and I look tired and I don't have my stuff together. Like I'm literally the worst. And you think those things and you kind of amplify them, the negative. And if someone ever tells you anything nice, or if you encounter anything nice that shows you that, you know, you do have positive traits, you diminish it. And what you need to do is you need to be more critical. So remember how critical you were of that political commentator we talked about? I want you to bring the same criticism to your mind now. So I want you to consider, what is the evidence that those negative thoughts are untrue? What is the evidence that you're over exaggerating something that doesn't really have evidence for it? Because that's what political commentators do, right? You're typically the ones that trigger us. They're over exaggerating something that has very little evidence. That's why they're on either side of the spectrum, right? Because if they were in the middle, no one would be angry. They would be like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty reasonable. And so you need to bring this criticism to your mind. Just imagine that there is kind of a political commentator in your mind, and their whole mission is to diminish your confidence. A lot of these thoughts are automatic, and they've been taught kind of into us. Like, who knows? Maybe it's our capitalist economy that needs to sell things to us. So, you know, if we have a lot of self-doubt, we buy more things. Maybe it's just our culture. Maybe it's the way we were parented. There's probably a multiple amount of things that contributed to us creating these automatic thinking patterns in our mind that destroy our confidence, our inherent confidence that we were born with. And you can get it back as long as you focus on diminishing the negative thinking, on diminishing the thoughts that are destroying your confidence. And that's where you bring that criticism in. That criticism that you already have for that political commentator that you know is wrong, that can be utilized to help you regain your confidence.